Special called meeting for the city of San Juan, our regular agenda at 6:30 PM. May we rise for the invocation? Commissioner Sanchez, I'm going to put you on the spot. Can you lead us, sir?
Lord, thank you for this evening and gathering all the committee here locally today. Lead us to make the best decisions that is brought upon us. And thank you for having us today. Thank you.
Amen.
Amen.
Face the flag for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. May be seated.
Ready? Okay. Mayor, Commissioners, good evening. The first item under presentation, we have a presentation by the San Juan Royal Court regarding a proposed Valentine's Blood Drive. We have the representatives from Carmen Elementary,
San Juan Community
San
Lions
Juan
Club.
Lions Club?
Yes, sir.
San Juan Lions Club, I'm sorry.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Mr. Garza,
Good evening, sir.
Commissioner. My name is Adrian Carr. I'm the president of the San Juan Community Lions Club, and we are here along with, in partnership with the San Juan Royal Court, to ask you for a big favor. I'll let the girls do that, because how can you say no to the girls, right? But we are planning a first-ever blood drive here for this for our city, and I've already made some legwork on my part, and we want to have the blood drive go on February 10th. It's on a Saturday, from 10 to 4. At this time, I'll let the girls explain to you a little bit more about what's going to happen that day.
Hello, good evening. We're here to ask for permission if we can use the San Juan Public Library as the blood donor trucks can come over here so we can have everybody come and donate. So it's like they know where the San Juan Library is and they know it's open to the public. So we're hoping to bring in some more donors in that way. So I wanted to have Yasmin come and talk up more about how we can get those donors over here to the library.
Me and Alyssa go to different schools, and we were gonna ask our principals for permission to get it like known around the school, so we can bring like both schools together, and like get more people to volunteer. Thank you.
I was gonna try to get my middle school to help donate blood, but asking the teachers and for students to ask their parents. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Madison Jade Flores, your Little Miss San Juan 2018. I want you to donate blood. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Appreciate it. I guess, Ms. Sessi, I have a question in regards to this. Is it available February 10th? Have you checked for them? Oh, they're just going to, it's going to be a unit out here in the front? Oh, okay, okay, I thought it was.
We are requesting the use of the maybe a couple of rooms in the library, just in case we have an overflow of come in. We don't want to turn anybody away. So okay, so yeah, they did want me to ask you all if we could use maybe 1 or 2 rooms inside.
Okay.
That way we don't turn any people away. If they're here
Sure.
to donate, we can get them to donate.
Sure, I don't think it'd be a problem. We just got to make sure that it's available. Yes, the 18th, right? You said from 10 to 4?
February 10th from 10
Oh, I'm sorry, yeah, February 10th.
Yeah, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m.
Got you.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And we promised them 50 donations.
50 donations.
50 donations. So if we all can come and help us out, we'd appreciate that.
I'll be the first one.
Great,
So,
thank you, sir.
Yes. Yes, thank you.
The next item is under presentations, presentation of departmental reports. Tonight we have the Department of Finance, Municipal Court, Police Department, Fire Department, and the Department of Utilities. Should you have any questions, everybody's here ready and available to answer answer any question that you may have.
Mr. Arvana, not for this meeting, but for the next coming meeting, I would like to see that every department put in our agenda a schedule where, what are we doing, what's the progress that we'll be doing? If there's any, like, let's say, Parks and Recs, what events are coming, but kind of put it in the paper so we can look at it. So when we look at the agenda, we can see even our streets, what streets are being done, if they're done, when next phase is coming up. Even if it's a repetition, but we can see it, and then the commission, we got 2 new commissioners, they can catch up and they can ask questions. We can also ask questions, what's going on. But I would like to see a report, you know, it doesn't have to be a whole page, but kind of paragraph or so. What's the progress that we're doing? Code enforcement, we need people, or I want to see positions that are vacant, if they're vacant, or positions that got filled, who are the persons that we had hired? So that way, it's not for us to, all of a sudden we know, hey, we got this new employee, you know, we want to welcome them to our city, and this way, every commissioner has the information that they need, and if they got questions, we can elaborate more in our meetings.
Will do.
Just for clarification, Mr. Juan, are you requesting, Commissioner, that all the departments submit it?
Yeah, if
or
you're-
only the
if-
ones that are on?
No, all the departments,
Okay,
you know, we can know what Parks and Recs are doing, what ITM is doing, and maybe ITM, you know, I have seen other places where they're showing the public, where in the city hall, they have a TV and they're showing like what streets are being done, what streets are coming up, or what events are coming up, you know, and we give more information to our public, to our taxpayers. You know, if they don't have nothing to report, which I would sounded that why would somebody wouldn't have, you know, something to report? You know, we might just put, but that way we get a better idea what kind of questions to ask, or, you know, why the trash, you know, if the trucks are working, you can put us there, some trucks are not working, and that way when we come to the reports, we can see, you know, or somebody calls us, we have 3 calls that they didn't pick up my trash, and we start reports that, hey, we have 2 trucks broken down, we are buying this, and we can tell our public where we at. You know, I guess, you know, I'm kind of saying it kind of quick, but as we talk more about it, you know, other commissioners can put input to it, but I'm just trying to get more information from every department and see where the progress and how we can better our city.
We'll do an itemized listing of the report per department.
Also, is there a way when, like Commissioner Garcia is saying about what has been done already up to now on phase 1 and phase 2, we're going to start phase 2 on the streets, maybe we can use a drone to fly over where the people can see that some of the streets has been done already. What is it we're looking at now? What other streets are going to be starting working on it? I know phase 2, we got a lot of streets coming back, but if we show the people of City of San Juan on the drone so they can see the subdivisions and the streets that have been done up to now.
Okay, we'll do that. And as a matter of fact, just so you'll know, we're going to bring in that report next week, in the next meeting. However, the phase 1, as far as the repaving, is already completed, and we're in the process of finalizing the bidding process so that we can advertise. But we'll bring that in the next meeting.
Mayor, if I may?
Yes, sir, go ahead.
Mr. Gonzalez, I know in the last meeting, I made reference to the EDC's financials. You were lacking some information. Did you get that information you were missing?
Yes, sir. I got financials for November. We still have a December that we're working on. We got,
Up to date? All right, thank you, sir. And Chief Garza. I know I made reference to it earlier before the meeting started, but hats off to your guys. I know they're going above and beyond, not only with human life, but also we're getting phone calls regarding pets, cats and dogs, and I know your guys are stepping up. And I think it was a collaborative work with one cat, with the sanitation department that also went out there, and the police department. You all did great. Got a lot of feedback on it, so great job.
Also, Chief Garza, want to commend you on the job well done on that little trailer that got, they started a fire over here. The protocol is there. You were always looking at your safety of your firefighters, and everything was done by chain of command. And I stopped by, and I was right there behind you. And like I said, I used to be a firefighter before, and it's adrenaline that I want to go in there, but I have to stay back. But my hat's to you, the way you perform, and then the second group came by and relieved the other guys. Good job, well done.
I have a question for Captain Cáceres. In reference to, I know back then we had issues, I believe on Thursdays, people cruising down the Raúl Longoria area. How are we doing with that? Because I got 2 calls in reference to that issue.
Well, on Thursday nights, we've been having that problem for a while. We've been using some of the grant money to sponsor their overtime and have officers stay over and work that area. They have been working it. I know they've made a couple arrests, and as soon as we start doing some traffic stops and start doing some enforcement there, they start to back off a little and they start to leave the area. But it's just a matter of showing the force when we're there.
Okay, thank you. And the last thing I have for you is I got a call in reference to, on 495, Raúl Izaguirre Elementary School.
Yes, sir.
That apparently, there's, in the morning hours, there's individuals speeding through there. So one of the principals called me and asked me if there's any way maybe, we can send a unit down there patrolling that area, a little heavy.
Yes, sir. I'll tell my men to do it in the mornings. Just for food of thought, the speed limit there during the morning, during the school hours, I believe it's either 30, 35?
Yes, exactly.
Yes,
But,
yeah.
I mean, there's some
Yes.
individuals that fly through there.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? So, okay, that's all I have.
Yes, sir. I'll let my men know.
All right, thank you, sir.
Captain Cáceres, how many units do we have working?
How many units do we have
Yes.
working? Well, that's, we have of about,
Well, the fleet is one, but I want to know how many are working. We can have a fleet of 20, but if only
Yeah.
3 are working.
right now, I would say if fleet out of 20, we might have maybe 10 up and going right now. A lot of them are just minor little things that we're getting repaired, and all this past month, we've been taking our newer units, the 2015s, we've been taking them back for recalls. And so some of them have been at the dealership, but we finished with all the recalls and all the 2015s that we had, the Explorers. So they're all back in the road. I believe there is one that we do have out, and it's still at City Shop, but it's being repaired, it's being looked at.
And the reason I'm asking you is because I saw officers being transported from one station to another station because the vehicles over there were not working. And then I saw the vehicle that they gave him, and the tires, the tires were just like, I say, how can this vehicle be in a pursuit? And
Yeah.
it's not a hazard to that law of enforcement.
When I put the vehicles into maintenance, we have a internet portal that they fill out and do. The vehicle is taken to City Shop and they put new tires on them. I don't know if that officer for that unit has done
I'm
that.
not too sure if it was vehicle number 14,
14?
yeah, but
I'll-
those tires on the right side, both of them were probably like slick like this bottle.
Okay, so I'll look into that
know,
one.
And, I feel that that's a hazard to our law enforcement if they're in pursuit or something. Any
Yes.
of those potholes that we have there,
Yes, sir.
won't sustain, those tires won't sustain.
Yes, sir.
So just, let Chief Gonzalez know that, we want to know how many vehicles are working. If we need tires, we need, and that's why I'm asking this kind of report, that if we have vehicles that are not working, if we need tires and we haven't budgeted, we got to look at it. And I'm not going to say we're going to approve it right there and then, but at least we keep in our back mind that there are other priorities, especially when we're putting those officers in danger or in liability.
Yes, sir.
In a case of pursuit.
Yes, sir.
Carmen, sanitation, speed bumps. What can you tell me about speed bumps? How can we get some of the streets with speed bumps?
Those comes from Chief Gonzalez.
Well, they used to, but I
Active.
inherit, yes, I did. Normally, when they want speed bumps, someone will call us. I talk to the police department just to ensure that we're doing it properly.
Okay. On Third Street, you know how we have the bakery there?
Yes.
It's just always chaos. We don't have a stop sign there on Lincoln and Third also. It's wide open from all the way from Standard all the way to Raúl Longoria. We have seen in the past cars going fast. Sometimes they don't even stop in Raúl Longoria. They just, the speed they have, they just turn without stopping because it's too fast and that. And more likely, there's more streets also that might need some speed bumps. Find out a way you can get some bids and talk to Mr. Juan, how you all can work something out like that.
Anything else? Go ahead, Mr. Hona.
The next item under appointment, consider removal and appointment to the Lower Rio Grande Valley Development Council.
If I may, I did put this item on the agenda, and they are having their meetings at noon, and so I'm finding it difficult to attend those meetings because I would have to take a day off, whether it's personal day or sick leave. So I'm going to go ahead and motion to remove me as a member, and I don't know if the new commissioner is interested, or
Is it once a month?
it's once a month.
Once a
But we'll do the first one first. I motion to remove me as the member on that board. That's the motion.
To remove you.
Yes, sir.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Now, for some reason, Mr. or legal, no one on the board here decides to take this appointment. Can we appoint maybe a director or an employee?
I would need to look at the rules under the Lower Rio Grande Valley Development Council, but if I'm not mistaken, I think it doesn't have to be a sitting commissioner. It could be a designated director or person from the city administration, should you wish to have them represent them, at least represent this council or the city.
So, do we table this or bring it back? No. You want to be?
I'll do it if they,
Okay. Okay.
You would have to have it by way of a motion.
yeah, you can
Yeah,
make
yeah,
a
yeah.
motion.
Motion to appoint Pete Garcia to the Lower Rio Grande Valley Development Council.
Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
The next item is consider remove and appointment of a member of the city commission as mayor pro tem.
Mary, may please on this one.
Sure, go ahead.
I would like to remove Jesse Ramirez as mayor pro temp and appoint Pete Garcia to become the new mayor pro temp.
Now, is that in the motion, sir?
Yes, sir. It's in the motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second. All those in favor say aye.
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 Motion carries.
One opposed.
Oh,
For the
all those opposed?
One, aye.
Motion carries. Go ahead, sir.
Next item on discussion and possible action on the following matters. Discussion and possible action to authorize city manager to submit a project information form, which is called a PIF, for the proposed rehabilitation of the city of San Juan wastewater treatment facility to the Texas Water Development Board for inclusion in the fiscal year 2019 Clean Water State Revolving Fund intended use plan for the fiscal year 19. Mayor Commissioner, this is the item that now is being brought before you. I know we had a walkthrough over at the wastewater, and we had a workshop in discussion as to the items that are needed. I know Mr. Commissioner Sanchez is new to this, and I'll get with you on this, sir. But this is just so that we can get the application submitted to the Texas Water Development Board. This is not a commitment. This is just to submit the application to see how we ranked on the Texas Water Development Board, to see if there's any loan forgiveness later that we can qualify for. So this is just permission so that we can submit the PIF.
And what's the deadline for that, Mr. Hona? Do you know?
I'm not sure about a deadline, but the sooner the better, sir.
Okay. Okay. Any questions?
So moved.
Second?
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Next item is consider selection and authorizing city manager to enter into contract for the City of San Juan Comprehensive Plan Project and update of the Parks Master Plan. Mr. Cervantes.
Mayor, City Commission, good evening. During the month of December 2017, the City of San Juan solicited statements of qualifications for the preparation of a comprehensive land use plan and an update of the city's Parks Master Plan. Bagley Associates LLC was the company to submit an SOQ within the deadline. After the interview, staff will prepare a negotiation of a contract with Ms. Bagley for professional services, and it must be within the budget. Staff recommends entering into a negotiation with Ms. Bagley. If you remember, she's a consultant that prepared the expressway corridor.
Yeah, the corridor for the
Yes.
EDCs, right?
Yes.
And she was the, I'm sorry, Mr. Hona.
Yes.
And she was the only one?
She was the only one,
No one else?
no one else.
Okay. Okay, go ahead, sir. I'm
No,
sorry.
say that this is already budget, it's a budgeted item. We have an annual budget. And like Mr. Cervantes said, that this is the only firm that submitted at an SOQ. She's capable of doing the task for both, not only the comprehensive plan, but also for the Parks Master Plan. She's ready, available. She's on Skype. Should you decide to interview her, ask her some questions, or like we said, we're recommending for negotiate a contract with Ms. Bagley and Associates. She's a reputable company that we feel that she can do the job for the city.
Okay. Is there any questions? If not, is there a motion to approve?
So move.
Is there a second? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you. The next item, consider preliminary and final plat approval of the RR San Juan Retail Subdivision, being a 5.072 acre tract of land being a re-subdivision of 4.675 acres out of Lot 6, San Juan Corner Street IV subdivision, and 0.382 of an acre, all out of Lot 3B of Lots 3A and 3B, San Juan Corners, St. Ave subdivision, located approximately 250 feet west of Cesar Chavez Road along the south side of Interstate Highway Number 2, as requested by J&R Engineering LLC. Mr. Cervantes.
Yes, the developers propose to replat 4.6 acres out of Lot 6 and 0.3 acres out of Lot 3A and 3B, San Juan Corners, St. Eve's subdivision, for the development of the property just west of Popeye's Restaurant, south to Carroll Road. The purpose of the replat is to create 3 commercial lots to accommodate new commercial development. 2 of the proposing lots will have frontage to the IH2 frontage road, and the other lot will have frontage along Carroll Road. The 3 lots will be connected to each other through access easements. During their meeting of January 4th, the Planning and Zoning Commission recommended preliminary and final plat approval unanimously, subject to the list of conditions.
Any questions for Mr. Cervantes at this time? Okay. If not, is there a motion to approve?
So move. Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
The next item is consider preliminary and final plat approval of the County Park Phase 1 subdivision, being the west 20 acres out of Lot 1, Block 43, Alamo Land and Sugar Company subdivision, located approximately a quarter of a mile east of Raul Longoria Road along the south side of Nolana Avenue, as requested by Salinas Engineering and Associates.
Yes, Mr. Salinas is proposing to subdivide 20 acres into 79 lots to build a subdivision for single-family homes, with an entrance along Nolana Avenue and another entrance along Gardenia Avenue in the north side of town. Mr. Salinas recently rezoned this property into single-family residence district in order to comply with the zoning ordinance. The project engineer is requesting the following variances. Number 1, not to have to pay the park fees prior to the plat getting recorded, and instead to pay them as the building permits are issued for the houses in the subdivision. Number 2, to not have to comply with the maximum block length requirements. Number 3, to not escrow funds for 10 feet of additional pavement, curb and gutter, and a 5-foot sidewalk along Nolana Avenue. Number 4, not to provide for 40 feet of pavement width for Gardenia Street, but to provide 32 feet from the back of the curb to the back of the curb instead. And number 5, not to provide uniform fencing and landscaping along the Nolana Avenue boundary as required in the subdivision ordinance. Staff has no objections to variance request number 2. On variance request number 4, staff recommends a compromise with the developer. The code requires 40 feet for the width of the street. The developer is proposing 32. We could compromise with 36 feet, like it was done for another subdivision. During their meeting of January 4th, the Planning and Zoning Commission recommended in a 3-2 split vote to recommend the preliminary and final plat, granting variances number 1 and 3 only.
Cervantes, that subdivision, is that going to be close to that Nolana Street, or how far was it?
It's Miss.
Isn't that like
If you can put it on page 62. Page 62. This is the proposed. This thing stopped working. But Nolana is to the north, and it's going to connect to Gardenia to the south, where you have.
This is Nolana.
No, Nolana is to the north. And where you have a Ridmock Elementary, you have Gardenia and Gardenia dead ends on the north side, so it's going to connect. If you can scroll up a little bit. On the south side, it's going to connect to the Gardenia that is existing next to the school. So the subdivision will have one entrance on Olana and one entrance from Gardenia.
By that park?
Next, just west of the park, just west of the county park.
You're going to go clearly from all the way to Nolana through Gardenia, right? That's what you're saying?
Excuse me?
You're going to be able to go through
Yes.
Gardenia all the way
Yes.
towards Nolana?
Yes, there will be, because you have the school to the south,
Right.
there will be cut-through traffic as the neighborhoods to the north of this subdivision will want to access the school through this subdivision. So that the Gardenia Street is basically a collector street, and that's why on Collector Street, the code requires 40 feet of width for the pavement, because we know there's going to be a lot of cut-through traffic. But we can, like I mentioned before, we could compromise with the developer and require 36 instead of the 40.
Now, is that common? Do you usually do that?
We did it, if you remember, we processed a subdivision for the property next to the Pizza Hut, where the Taco Palenque was going to come in.
Correct.
And we had the same situation,
Okay,
and we also compromised.
got you.
We
Okay.
compromised with them that way. So
And
it will be the same compromise.
Okay,
Which is, so we're meeting halfway
got you.
with the developer. We want 40, they want 32, so we're meeting them halfway.
36,
Yeah,
correct, right?
yeah.
Okay.
And the code requires a street in the middle, and the Planning and Zoning Commission did not grant that variance, but staff has no objections. The code requires, in between the two streets, the code requires an east-west street to connect the two. The staff has no objections on not having that middle street. The reasons why we lose 2 houses from the tax roll, and we have more streets to maintain.
Oh, so
And,
if you run the street in the middle?
Yeah,
you're gonna
it's
lose-
better for circulation.
Yes, correct.
But we will lose 2 houses from the tax roll, and we have more streets to maintain. And the fire department, as long as they have their 2 entrances, one from Nolana and one from Gardenia, they have no objections. So that's why, even though Planning and Zoning Commission did not grant that variance, staff is okay with it.
Be variance number 2?
Yes, that's correct. And in variance number 5, Planning and Zoning Commission and staff were against it. We want the landscaping, we want the uniform fencing along Nolana. And the developer is in agreement.
And let me ask you, number 4, Chief, would that be an issue with that as far as compromising from a 40 to 36? No, sir. Okay.
Don't say that too loud, okay? No, I'm joking. I'm joking. Yeah, I know. All right. Any other questions for Mr. Cervantes?
I met with the project engineer a couple of ago. He's in agreement with the 36 feet
Mhm.
for Gardenia, and he's in agreement with the landscaping and fencing along Nolana. So I think we're in agreement with everything.
Okay.
We have compromised, and I think we're in the same,
Those are a total of
79.
79?
79?
And from what I hear, they're going to be nice. Salinas, would you like to talk about the homes coming in?
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the commission. I won't take too much of your time. That's correct. We've been working on this project for several months, and we tried to reach some compromises, and I think we're in a good position now. We did have a good hearing before P&Z, and we threw some things back and forth. But I think we're in a position now where we think we can make the project work. We just need a little bit of help to do so. We did ask for some variances. Some we got, some we didn't. What I wanted to point out to the commission, this is 79 lots. We're looking at about $12 million of taxable revenue, property values for the city. So I think that we're in a position now with staff that we can make it work. So we just need your blessing. If you have any questions, I'd be glad to answer them for you.
Gonna have pavements and gutters?
Yes, sir. I
lights,
mean, it's full city standards.
light-
And that was one of the issues, Commissioner. The city has upgraded their standards. It's great to upgrade your standards, but there's only so much that a property can bear in terms of being able to sell lots for a certain amount to make the project work. What hurts this particular 20-acre tract is we got to spend $100,000 with North Alamo Water Supply Corporation. It's not your water. It belongs to them. So that hurts us, and that's why we're looking for ways to move monies around so we can make the project work.
We have sewers there? Sewers?
Yes, city sewer, city storm sewer.
So we'll have, from sewers
Property
and-
taxes and all.
That's correct.
Property taxes, we're gonna have sewer revenues, garbage revenues, also the business area are gonna benefit from all these houses.
What's the value of the houses that you?
We're projecting to, once the house is built out, about 140 to 160,000 per lot. So when you project that 79 lots, that's about $12 million a year in taxable value. We're just trying to make it work. Just need a bit of help.
Any other questions? Not, is there a motion to approve?
So move.
If you can, I know
Yes,
that there's,
the variance.
Oh, the variance,
there's
yeah.
variances on there, and there's, by Mr. Cervantes, I see that there was some corrections on the 32-foot, and I know that the number was thrown out as 36.
Yeah, so it will
So
be,
If
yeah.
they're gonna go with recommendation from the staff, if we can have Mr. Cervantes read out those variances unless the commission
Go
has a
ahead.
different opinion as to which ones they wanna approve to get better. to what
Approve
we're-
1, 2, 3, and 4 with the footage that was recommended by staff, which is 36 feet.
On the item, just so I may, on the item number 5, it says not to provide, so we're gonna say to provide uniform fencing.
Right, yeah, that
So
was.
yeah, number
yes,
5
1,
is
2, 3, and
not
4.
granting that variance.
Correct.
So that's your motion?
Yes, that's.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you, sir. Yes, thank you, sir.
The next item is consider resolution expressing support for the application of TGO North Alamo 18LP to the Texas Department of Housing and Community Affairs for 2018 competitive 9% housing tax credits to develop affordable rental housing and other matters in connection therewith.
Yes, Ms. Dana Rickenbacker, representing Marquee Consulting, is asking the City of San Juan to adopt the attached resolution, which will help the company be awarded the competitive housing tax credits for apartment complexes through the Texas Department of Community Affairs. If the credits are awarded, it will allow for the construction of an apartment complex along the east side of Retama Street, halfway between Eldora and Sioux Roads. If the housing tax credits are awarded and the project is constructed, a certain percentage of the apartments will need to be rented to low-income, moderate-income people as required by the program. By the adoption of the resolution, the City of San Juan makes a commitment of $500 for the project, which could be in the way of reduced permit fees. The entire property is outside the city limits at this time, within the city's ETJ. Zoning for multifamily residential will have to be granted in the future if they get the credits. And Ms. Rickenbacker is here, and do you have a presentation? I think she has a presentation.
Hello, my name is Donna Rickenbacker, and I represent the applicant party to this request of the city. I don't know, he certainly explained what we're seeking very eloquently, but I certainly am here to answer any questions that you have. We're applying for housing tax credits to capitalize our development cost. It's through a very, very competitive program. Part of that program, or the program requires us to seek resolutions of support from the local municipality. In this instance, it would be the City of San Juan, since this particular piece of property is in your ETJ. The application goes in at the end of February. Hopefully, it will be supported with y'all's application, with your resolutions, excuse me, to move it forward. Again, there's no certainty that we'll be awarded the credits, and obviously, if we are not awarded the credits, then we would not move forward. We would be voluntarily annexing the property into the City of San Juan and seeking a zone change to allow a multifamily housing development. It stays on y'all's tax rolls. We've got several properties in Mid-Valley, and this is about a $16 million total development cost development, again, if it moves forward and it's awarded the tax credits. And I'm here to answer any questions that you may have. We've got properties that are under construction or in operation in Alton. We've got 2 in Weslaco. We've got 1 in the city of Penitas. We've got 1 in Brownsville, all very successful. Would love for you all to come and take a look at them, including our newest one in Weslaco.
So this is just a resolution in support of the project?
Yes, sir.
And that this, where you got that TGA in San Juan, what area is, would that be in the north side or?
This particular
Yeah.
property is located off of Retama and Sioux Road. It is north of the expressway. It is in the Alamo CDP, and it's in the ETJ of the city of San Juan.
You had mentioned that you had, I'm sorry, I walked in
No
at the tail
problem.
end, but you had mentioned about having some of these projects, right, in other locations?
Yes, sir.
By any chance, you don't have anything as far as what they look like?
I don't have them with me. I certainly can bring something to the commission for them to review.
Or if not, what you can do, you can email Mr. Cervantes.
Absolutely, and he knows several of our properties.
Okay.
You didn't
Yeah,
mention the property was, one of them that you have located in Peñitas, right?
I'm sorry?
One of the properties you had, you said that you have one located in Peñitas?
Yes, sir,
Is
right
it the
behind
one
the
right
Super
behind
Walmart.
Walmart?
Yes,
I've
sir.
seen it. Okay, I've seen it.
Could you please confirm for the council how many units you were proposing?
It's approximately 135 to 140 total units of 1 bedroom, 1 bath, 2 bedroom, 2 bath, 3 bedroom, 2 baths. Our distribution is about 50% 1-1s, about 40% 2-2s, and 10% 3 bedrooms. There are no 4-bedroom units in this development.
And to clarify, the city contribution would be a $500 for the total project and not per unit, is that correct?
Yes, sir. That's another point category that the program kind of imposes on us to seek a local match, if you will, from the local jurisdictions, in this instance, again, the city of San Juan, to the extent of $500. Obviously, for the total project, and that's conditioned on receiving the housing tax credits.
Those units have restrictions, kind of restrictions for the residents that are going to live there, right?
Yes, sir, they do. Actually, this is a mixed income development, so we have units that are set aside for people that are earning certain income levels, 60%, 50%, 30%, and then we also have units that are non-income restricted, meaning market rate, and anybody that qualifies can live there irrespective of the income that they make. Everybody pays rent. If they don't pay rent, then obviously they can't live there, but those rental rates are established based on their income levels.
Any other questions? Not, is there a motion to approve?
So move.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you, ma'am.
The next item is consider a resolution expressing support for the application of TGO Rich Villas 18LP to the Texas Department of Housing and Community Affairs for 2018 competitive 9% housing tax credits to develop affordable rental housing and other matters in connection herewith. Cervantes.
Same presentation. This property is on Stewart Road, south of Rich Road. This property, half is inside the city and half is in the ETJ of the city of San Juan. Like I mentioned before, they will still have to get the zoning, and we have to send, there will have to be public hearings for the zoning, so the zoning is not a guarantee, depending on if the surrounding property owners come out in opposition. But this resolution is just to help them get the tax credits for the project to be a possibility.
Will we be doing, what'd you call it? Annexing the
Yes.
TJ property?
Yes, if they get the tax credits, the next step is the property owner will have to request annexation for the rest of the property, And then after that, we will have to go through the zoning process. Same thing as the other project. They will have to request annexation, and then we process the zoning to multifamily residential. No guarantees on the zoning because properties within 200 feet get a notice, and you may have a room full of people in opposition. So no guarantees on that. But this is the
But we
what's
haven't
needed.
gotten there
This
yet.
is what's needed to get to first base, I guess.
Gotcha.
For the project to happen.
Okay. Any other questions for Mr. Cervantes?
Is this also one of your projects also? Could you please explain to the council the likelihood, since you've been throughout the valley, the likelihood of 2 projects being approved within the same proximity, within the same city boundaries? Is that, it's usually one or the other type of deal, does it?
Yes,
Have you ever had a circumstance where 2 applications are within the same municipal boundaries that get approved at the same time, or get approved, or they usually?
No, sir. No, sir. These are both really good sites, and I'm particularly fond of this one myself, but the reason why we try to move forward with a couple of them is because, again, in a very competitive process, we are competing for tax credits that'll basically fund a total of 4 developments. And we compete against other applicants that are submitting applications on sites from Brownsville all the way up to Laredo, and every city in between. It's truly that competitive.
So it would be very difficult for an award to happen on
Yes, sir.
both sides that you're applying for, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, it would be probably one or the other.
One or the other. And
If not, somebody else or another project.
yes, sir.
Okay.
Or potentially both of them are denied. There's utilities in this area. Meldon and Hunt, Mario Reyna is our engineer, has been since we first came to the valley back in 2006. And this piece of property, there are utilities. They'll probably have to be sized to accommodate this development, but there are utilities in the area. And in this piece of property, a portion of it is already in the city of San Juan, and the balance of it, the back portion of it, is in the San Juan's ETJ.
Is this the property that's just right past south of that little trailer park?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm trying to figure that out. So it is, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
I want the other application too, the $500 would be for the community, not $500 per unit, is that correct?
Correct. Total.
And like I mentioned, it could be like the building permit for the complex, we just reduce it, the building permit fee by $500. So it's not like give them a check.
Any other questions? If not, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second? Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much.
The next item, consider authorizing city manager to amend the San Juan Economic Development Corporation agreement for administrative services to include janitorial services and cleaning products. This is an item that we're considering amending to the EDC, as to the city will be providing those 2 services, janitorial services and cleaning products to the EDC corporation. It's already been budgeted, it's been approved. We're just asking for your approval on that.
Would this be done during the regular workday, or would it be done after,
Will be during the workday.
during the regular workday? And would the individual performing the maintenance or the cleaning receive this monies, or how is it gonna work? Because I know when we discussed last year, 2 years ago, the finance director was supposed to receive that money that was being collected. So is it gonna be working the same way with the
No,
with the
it'll
staff?
be come down as a compensation to the city,
To the city, not
not
to the
necessarily
individual
to the
doing the work?
individual. Right.
Okay. Is the other one being handled the same way also, or did it change? Because at the time, Mr. Pablo Garza was
Yes,
receiving the.
it is not that way.
Working that way anymore?
No.
All right.
Any other questions? If not, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second?
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you.
Next item is on the consent agenda. We have item A, B, C, and D. You can pull any of these items in order to make an adequate decision, or if you like, we can go into one by one.
Is there any amendments that we need to do or pull out at this time? Members of the commission? If not, is there a motion to approve?
So move.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
The next item under executive session, the San Juan City Commission will convene an executive session in accordance with Texas Open Meetings Act, Burdens, Texas statutes, and code annotated Government Code Chapter 551, pursuant to Section 551.074 personnel matters, discuss the appointment, employment, evaluation, reassignment duties, discipline, or dismissal of a public officer or employee, Director of Parks and Recreation, and City Manager.
Is there a motion to enter executive session?
So move.
Is there a second? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. We will enter into executive session at 7:16 PM. 4 of us. So
Yeah, we got 4.
we wait for him?
Yeah, he's calling.
We're back from executive session at 8:12 PM. Is there a motion to reconvene?
So move.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. This time, we're taking no action. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So move.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
This meeting has been adjourned at 8:12 PM. Thank you.